How many of you have a favorite dessert? Do you enjoy cake or cookies or pie? I love dessert, and believe it or not, most desserts come about through the process of baking. Simply defined, baking is when something, most often food, is cooked using dry heat rather than a direct flame. Baking has been around for thousands of years. It first originated as a way to make bread and has since transformed into what we know it as today. Baked goods are enjoyed by many. Many people bake as a hobby, and baking is featured on various TV shows. I love to bake, and I've always enjoyed baking and often find myself baking huge batches of chocolate chip cookies for my family and friends. Throughout my time baking, I have found it to be a comforting and relaxing activity that allows me to take my mind off of the pressures I face in my life. Baking is a way to relieve stress. In my speech, I will discuss how baking was a stress relief for many people during COVID. Then I will talk about the reasons why baking relieves stress. And finally, I will explain how you can use baking as an escape in your lives. Many people took up baking as a hobby in 2020 when they had extra free time due to COVID-19. In fact, baking became so popular during this time that stores were wiped out of flour. For many of these new bakers, baking became a way to relax and spend time away from the chaos going on in the world. On May 12, 2020, Amanda Mull, a writer for The Atlantic, wrote, "Stuck inside and in need of both inexpensive activities and 3 meals a day, baking was a comforting activity for many people. It requires both mental and physical focus. With all this extra time, people had to come up with ways to entertain themselves, and baking was a hobby that came with a tasty reward. With the internet and news programs bringing constant depressing information, and everyone being stuck at home either alone or with their families, many people turned to baking to escape from it all. Baking was a way to clear your mind, follow simple instructions, and feel a sense of accomplishment at the end. I just explained how baking was a way to relieve stress during COVID. Now I will tell you the reasons why baking relieves stress. Recently, it has been scientifically proven that baking is a form of stress relief for many reasons. Sarah Weinberg, a writer for the food-centered magazine Delish, quoting Dr. Mary McNaughton Castle, a clinical psychologist and professor of psychology at the University of Texas, on March 25, 2020, explains that some of it's just allowing yourself to be creative, adding flavor, changing color, forming shapes. Then you've got the sensory triggers. The smell of spices and vanilla are comforting, and they often remind us of happy times. Olfactory scents are particularly linked to areas of the brain that involve emotions and memory. When people exercise their creative abilities, they are able to express themselves. They are able to express their emotions. The creativity and overall comforting atmosphere of baking makes it a very relaxing activity that allows bakers to detox from whatever is bombarding their mind. Dr. Mary McNaughton Castle goes on to explain that there is a rhythm or pattern to baking. It feels familiar and can even lead to a mindful state. This mindful state that is created through the act of baking allows bakers the opportunity to be aware of their thoughts and feelings and reflect upon them. Now that I've explained the reasons why baking can be a form of therapy, I will tell you how you can use baking to relieve stress in your lives. While baking can be stressful in some situations, like you're under a time limit or something doesn't turn out quite right, there are a few things you can do to make the baking experience a relaxing one. Maggie McCracken, a writer for Brit.co, a lifestyle website, shares in an article written on August 27, 2021, that one thing you can do to make baking a stress-free use of time is to go into the kitchen with the goal of tuning in and tuning out. She suggests that you make sure you won't be distracted, and either put on some soft music or immerse yourself in silence. Focus on noticing all the sensorial elements of your experience. While it may not be possible to completely eliminate distractions in some situations, as McCracken suggests, listening to calming music can help you get into a mindset where you are able to stay focused. Immersing yourself in the baking experience can help you to release the stressors clouding your mind and escape from the world for a little while. Baking is relaxing whether you are the one doing it or not. If you don't have all the ingredients at your disposal, the right amount of space, or you just don't have the time to sit and wait by the oven, baking videos online and certain baking shows on TV can also help you relax and turn off your brain for a period of time. College and life in general are stressful, so baking can be a way to escape from it all and sort through your emotions. In conclusion, baking has been shown to be a relaxing way to relieve stress. Many turn to the activity during a time of chaos and confusion, which demonstrated how therapeutic baking can actually be. Allowing baking to be a calming activity can help you to relieve your stress. Baking is a way to provide delicious treats for yourself, but it is also a way to escape from the stressors of everyday life. Now, I invite you all to enjoy your favorite treats through the art of baking. Thank you.